Good afternoon. I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the July 9th, 2019 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. Today I'm going to read you a passage from Romans that I absolutely love. And, it's very interesting that this particular passage would be placed in the book of Romans. Romans was written, obviously, to a Christian group in Rome. But most scholars believe that actually Paul did not know these people on a personal basis when he wrote that letter. Rather, it's one of those letters, of very few, and in fact, it may be the only one that Paul wrote, that actually at the time he wrote it, he was writing to primarily strangers, as opposed to his letters to other congregations where he knew them intimately. For example, he stayed in Ephesus for a long time. He knew the Corinthians very, very well, and various congregations. And yet, even though he did not know perhaps all the intimate details of this group of Christians, he knew a fundamental truth that is true about Christians everywhere in every time. And it's true of you and me even today. And I want you to hear this because this is a message for every single one of us. And I'm going to say it with as much passion as I think Paul would require. It is Romans chapter 12, verses 7 and 8. If your gift is serving others, then serve them well. If you're a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, then be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. My friends, there's absolutely no feeling, in my opinion, greater on this earth, greater than romance, greater than passion, greater than thrill, adrenaline, pumping kind of thrill. In my opinion, there's absolutely no greater feeling in this life than when you are doing what you know God has gifted you to do, that God has given you special ability and desire to do, and that you are doing it to the utmost of your ability, and that your motives are pure, and that you truly are trying to serve the Lord and increase and assist the kingdom. I love the saying, the man that you remember whose story was chronicled in Chariots of Fire, the British runner who said, "I can feel God's pleasure on me when I run." And I'll tell you, I have heard this from so many people. I know it from my own experience over and over and over, that when you have identified, and it's usually not difficult, frankly, because you know what you're good at, and you know what you feel a passion and a call to do. But when you are doing those things, you can feel God's pleasure on you. You know you are doing what you are called to do. Excuse me. I heard several times when I was young this foolishness, absolute foolishness, that said that when you're serving God, if you're not enjoying it, then that's not true service. As if we're supposed to always have to just be under this heavy burden of unpleasant servitude in order to do anything for the kingdom. Wrong-o, wrong-o, wrong-o. As a matter of fact, if you are not primarily enjoying what you're doing for the kingdom, now, I'm not saying every moment is going to be perfect, but in general, if you're not, then I don't think you got the right gift that you're trying to use. I don't think you found it yet. I don't think you're in it yet. Our God loves it when we are trying to do what He has called us to do. And He is going to make that easier on us most of the time by giving us that sense that we are indeed doing what we are called to do. Now, Our duty is to put forth the effort. God is responsible for the results. But I do believe that we worship a God. Well, the Bible tells us that Jesus is coming back and he's bringing his reward with him. He is a rewarder of persons. The various creeds of the Christian church require us to believe that Christ is a rewarder. He is indeed, and I believe that one of the greatest rewards he gives, and he doesn't wait until the great hereafter, he does it right now, is that when you are truly in your called gift and you have put it in the service of the Lord, there's just an excitement, an enthusiasm, a sense of satisfaction. And, other people may be very helped by it. And when they tell you, oh, you helped me so much, blah, 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 you almost want to say, oh, it was nothing. Because to you, you got just as much out of it. You enjoyed it. It didn't even feel like work to you. My friends, I'm telling you, the Lord is going to give you the stamina, the enthusiasm, the motivation to do what he has called you to do. And you may not feel it every single moment of your life, but I'll tell you something. You're going to feel it most of the time when you're doing it. So what is it that God has gifted you to do? And are you doing it? And if you're letting any kind of justification or excuse stop you from it, then I'm going to tell you, you need to stop right now. Paul is telling you and me and the Romans back in the day, whatever your gift is, you need to not only use it, but use it to its utmost. Giving generously, doing things gladly, going at it and doing it to the best of your possible ability, not as a afterthought, but as your main focus, with as much passion and stamina and quality and excellence as you possibly can. And my friends, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded with the satisfaction of knowing that God is smiling. You will feel his pleasure. I'm J.Lenora Bressler, hoping that you're utilizing your gifts and feeling the pleasure of the Lord upon you as you do so. Visit me on the next